Good evening, YouTube. My name is Dan, and I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos. Season 5 of the GBA has begun, and the St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Real Marill and Mega Mogwai, the Season 4 GBA champions. Now, it's a taunting task to take on such an amazing competitor once again, but we're going to do our best to try to capitalize on the fact that we played very, very well in the championship last season, and we do have the momentum here to potentially win a match against the Season 4 champion, which will define the remainder of our season, even though we are so early on here in the beginnings. Now, we've discussed our team. We've done a very thorough draft breakdown. The analysts are saying that the Rampardos are ranked towards the bottom of the league. Ranked 14th and 13th by two different analysts so far. But we're not going to let that stuff get to us because last season, if you remember correctly, we were ranked in the bottom 2 as well of teams, and we made it to the championship with a team that was supposedly ineffective, relying on Chansey and Sableye. Our team was predictable. Well, I went with a similar strategy this season in terms of our constructing of our team, and while I don't have the same bulk I have quite a bit of offense instead, paired with some strategic bulk as well, and I think the team is going to perform fantastically. I'm very excited for this season of the GBA, and if you guys are as well, be sure to show your love on that like button down below. Now, let's get to the teams here because we're talking about focus on week 1 of the GBA Season 5 here, where we're taking on the Real Marill. Now, Miguel's team is absolutely phenomenal, guys. He's got a very, very well-constructed team featuring one of the best Megas in the game, Mega Altaria. He's also got Pokemon like Zapdos. He's got Torrent Greninja. He's got Mamoswine, which is a problem for any team. This thing's amazing. Ferrothorn for defense. He's got Dragalge and Emboar as well. Dragalge is a ginormous wall breaker. Lacks a little bit on the speed and the HP side of things, but from a especially offensive standpoint, because of its adaptability ability, this thing is an absolute monster. And rounding out his team, he's got Braviary, Gourgeist, and Seismitoad. So pretty interesting squad all around here. And I'm curious to see who he's going to bring. So you know his team, you know my team. Let's jump into what I'm going to bring and why I'm going to bring each of these Pokemon. Now, I am going to be displaying the Pokemon at level 50 from now on as well, because that's where the battles actually take place, so hopefully that helps you guys in terms of the team prep. But kicking off our lineup, making its debut in Season 5 of the GBA is V-Drive, our captain, Victini. Now, Victini this week is running an Adamant Choice Band, so that means it's going to just destroy everything. V-Create is one of those moves. It's defined and often regarded as a nuke, because Victini is so good. In many cases, you can click the move V-Create and just kill something. And Miguel's team is no different. Now, he does have a few Pokemon that can take hits from Victini. Seismitoad is one of those Pokemon, which is why my next move is Energy Ball. Even though I'm Adamant Nature, I'm still 2-hit KOing Seismitoad pretty much with these. So it's really there for the prediction game. I've also got U-Turn there for momentum, and Zen Headbutt there as just something to hit things hard with the stab boost, of course, if I don't want to rely on, if I don't want to risk getting that speed drop after the V-Create. So if I have to hit something twice, like Altaria coming in or something like that. But V-Create from an Adamant Choice Band Victini is going to just destroy everything, and I would be very surprised if Victini doesn't pick up at least 1 or 2 kills this week against Miguel. I'm sure he's going to prepare very heavily for Victini, and that might mold the rest of his team because you have to have a couple things that can take hits from Victini because this thing is such a monster, and I really look forward to using the GBA. Win or lose, I think this is going to be a fun Pokemon to use, and I think because of it's got such offensive prowess from both the physical side and the special side, not to mention a little bit of utility there, carrying moves like Will-O-Wisp and so on. I really look forward to using Victini throughout the rest of this season, and I'm hoping it can pick up quite a bit of kills. Now, the next Pokemon we're going to be bringing in our lineup this week is going to be our Oksi, which is our defensive wall. So we're bringing a physically defensive Oksi, which is carrying full physically defensive investment. We're carrying the Grass Knot, which actually does quite a bit to Mamoswine. Now, Oksi is my primary Mamoswine response. So if he sends out Mamoswine, Oksi is the thing that can come in and take those Earthquakes because it has Levitate. I know I can take a knockoff. Icicle Crash is only doing about 30% or so. So with that leftovers, I know Oksi is able to stay in and hang in against Mamoswine. Grass Knot's going to do a tremendous amount. It's a 2-hit KO on Mamoswine. I also got U-Turn there as well for momentum. As you can see, having a slow U-Turn is very, very nice coming off of Uxie because I can U-Turn right into Victini if I want. Uxie takes the hits, U-Turn right into Victini, and then Victini is able to kill something. So you'll see that's kind of a theme that I try to work with here, focusing my team around Victini a lot of the time. We're also carrying Thunder Wave for utility, giving me some speed control. I had debated between Knockoff and Thunder Wave, but to me, I felt that Thunder Wave is going to be the more beneficial move. I understand he does have Mamoswine. He could bring Zapdos as well. He's also got, Seismitoad. So those 3 Pokemon can sponge Thunder Waves, but I'd imagine he's only going to bring 1 or 2 of those 3. I can't imagine he's going to bring all 3. So that does gives me opportunities to paralyze some things. And again, like I said, Oksi beats Mamoswine one-on-one, so it's just going to be a matter of, as long as I don't get flinched, it's just going to be a matter of getting those, those Thunder Waves off and get some speed control. He does have a few Clerics, but I'm not going to prepare for him to carry Clerics. That's going to be that. I'm hoping he has to carry coverage moves instead of Clerics, which I'll explain in a little bit. We've got Stealth Rocks there, obviously, to set up the rocks. Take a little bit of pressure off for Agron as well for that rock setting duties. I think Oksi is going to be very, very important in this match, and I look forward to using it. And just so you know, I know I say Zapdos instead of Zapdos, and I say Oksi instead of Oksi or whatever. It's just how I say it. If I say it wrong, then don't get mad at me. The third Pokemon we're bringing is actually probably going to be a more defensive Pokemon for us, but this week we're bringing a Choice Specs Sylveon. And my logic here is Choice Specs Sylveon with a Hyper Voice coming off that Pixelate ability is actually 2-hit KOing a Mew, a standard specially defensive Mew, which is very, very impressive. Not to mention it just rips holes through his team. It can live a hit from Altaria and kill it. It can destroy Dragology by doing about 70-80%. It just hits everything hard. I've got the HP Fire on there for Ferrothorn, and I originally had Psyshock, but I decided that it wasn't really a useful move. Hyper Voice is going to be the button I click for the most part, and if he doesn't bring Ferrothorn, then pretty free to click Hyper Voice the whole time. Baton Pass is there for momentum. I can slowly Baton Pass out if I predict a switch, and of course I've got Wish there as well, which you might think Specs Wish is a bit strange, but again, I didn't feel that I needed any more coverage. Hyper Voice was the move. Hidden Power Fire was the secondary move. Wish could be useful if I'm able to take a hit and kind of pass that Wish over to something else, even though I'm Specs. That might be useful, so I felt like that was the best move for that last slot there, because again, there was no reason for me to run another coverage move there. I didn't feel Shadow Ball was going to do that much. Psyshock didn't really make a lot of sense. That was kind of my logic there. Now, I'm sure you guys are very excited to see our next Pokemon, Mega Agron. Now, I received a lot of skepticism around drafting Mega Agron, but I really think this Pokemon can shine and do a lot of damage in the GBA type format, boasting an impressive 230 base special defense stat. Defense stat. Special defense is about 80, so it lacks a little bit there, but it does have the filter ability, which does reduce special effective damage by 25%. And you'll see that Agron is able to tank hits from things like Mamoswine, Earthquakes relatively easy. It lacks reliable recovery, but otherwise is able to do quite a bit of work. Now, unfortunately, I can't carry Heavy Slam this week because of Mamoswine. I'm forced to run Iron Head instead, which does take a little bit of power away from us. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to OHKO Altaria anymore, but I felt that damage on the Mamoswine was necessary. We're also carrying the Fire Punch as well for Ferrothorn, so that thing doesn't wall us. Thunder Wave there for utility, which is really nice. And the last move I'm really excited about is Head Smash, which is, of course, our slogan for the St. Louis Rampardos. We are going to be carrying Head Smash this week, which is primarily for the Zapdos if he brings it. I'm actually after Rocks. Head Smash has a chance to OHKO defensive bold Zapdos, so I really like that as a potential option. It's just head smashing Zapdos on the switch in, and I'll trade Agron for Zapdos. I really like the speed control too with Oksi and Agron. We have those two defensive Pokemon, and Agron's obviously invested heavily in special defense, but I have the impish nature to capitalize on the fact that its base stat is so high in its defense. So it's kind of a mixed wall, and it can take some hits. It's going to really be able to take some hits. It can handle the Altaria, even if it's Earthquake. It can handle fire moves from Altaria. Obviously I can take a hit from Mamo and Iron Head it back. I really like this Agron set. I think it's going to put in some work this week. The next Pokemon we're going to be bringing is actually our Keldeo, and I had debated on bringing Fortress, and I'm going to explain why I'm not bringing Fortress this week. I felt that looking at his team, Mega Altaria can carry fire moves, Mew can carry fire moves, Mamoswine, I can't really do much back to it with Fortress. Ferrothorn, I can't do anything to it with Fortress. Greninja can carry HP Fire, Zapdos can carry Heat Wave, Dragology can carry HP Fire as well, Emboar destroys Fortress, Seismitoad can probably beat it one-on-one because I can't really do much back, and of course Gourgeist and Braviary, I don't fully expect him to bring. I mean, I guess Gourgeist is a possibility, but again, Fortress does not match up against Miguel's team, and while having a Rapid Spinner would be lovely, I definitely want to have a Rapid Spinner for my Victini support. My thought process here was, I don't bring a Rapid Spinner. I'd rather bring more offense. Miguel only has defoggers, so if I can get up rocks, if he wants to get rid of my rocks, he has to defog them away. And yes, he can defog and then set up stealth rocks again, but those are just more opportunities for me to gain momentum in this match and hopefully hit things hard. So we are bringing the Keldeo this week. We're bringing a Modest Nature with Expert Belt, and I actually EV'd all my Pokemon to just outspeed max speed Mamoswine, Jolly Nature Mamoswine. max speed or naive, whatever. So all my Pokemon are EV'd to do that. So if he brings max speed Mew or Zapdos, he's going to outspeed me. But that's the risk I'm going to take here in this matchup. Our Keldeo is rocking the Expert Belt, hopefully to bluff a Scarf, because the dynamics of my team make it seem like Keldeo is a Scarf user. I'm going to be carrying the Scald, the Secret Sword, which of course is going to hit that Ferrothorn, almost Okos it if it's especially defensive. Icy Wind for just general coverage and speed control, and Toxic, which is a little bit weird, but hopefully I can catch something like that Mew or the Zapdos on the switch, hitting it with the Toxic, because obviously those are his primary switch-ins, and we can wear those Pokemon down in addition to the rest of our walls. So I really think that this moveset is awesome. I decided not to run Hydro Pump because I felt that the Scald was going to just be, I'm going to be mostly clicking Scald and Secret Sword anyway, so I figured that was kind of my play. I really like Keldeo. I think it could do a lot of work. It stands as my primary response to Greninja, which is a bit scary because Greninja actually, even though it's Torrent, this is the only thing that really resists both stabs, the Dark and the Water type stab. I expect him to carry Gunk Shot as well for Sylveon, and then his last move would either be like U-Turn, or he would carry like HP Fire to kind of hit that Fortress a little bit better, something like that. So if he does bring a Life Orb Greninja, Keldeo is really my best response for it, and obviously that Secret Sword is able to kill the Greninja. It can kill, and he's going to be scared because he might think I'm Scarf. That's what this Expert Belt is all about, so hopefully to bluff this Scarf. And last but not least, the final member of our team is actually going to be our Salamence Earhart. This thing is hopefully going to be the monster that I expect it to be, packing Adamant Nature. I've got the Yachi Berry on it. I've EV'd this thing with 76 defense EVs to make sure 100% of the time I can live an Ice Shard after Stealth Rocks from an Adamant, Life Orb, Mamoswine, and I understand that is very, very specific, but that could come into play here. We're carrying the Iron Tail, which is a 75% accurate move. It does Oko, Mega Altaria, and Mamoswine after a Dragon Dance. So those are the two things we are going to need to hit our Iron Tail, and I hate to rely on a move that's 75% accurate, but it's really crucial for this match because I think Salamence has the potential to set up and sweep and win this game for me, but I need to hit those Iron Tails. We're also carrying the Fire Fang over Flamethrower or Fire Blast. Why? Because if he brings specially defensive Ferrothorn after a Dragon Dance, I actually can knock that thing out with my Fire Fang. And last but not least, we're carrying Outrage. He only has one Fairy type Pokemon, which is his Mega Altaria. He has to Mega Evolve it to get that Fairy typing, so if he doesn't Mega Evolve early, I actually can click Outrage. Now I will lock myself in, which allows Altaria to come in for free and basically Mega Evolve and resist or be immune to the hit. So that's something I'm gonna have to play around, but having that Iron Tail there should help me out. Salamence is definitely more of a late game sweeper. Victini is gonna be the nuke early game, and hopefully the middle Pokemon, the defensive pivots and so on and so forth, can provide me with enough momentum and enough chip damage and so on and so forth to eliminate the threats that we need to eliminate for Salamence to come in at the end and sweep. That Yachi Berry is going to be crucial, especially if he carries Ice Beam on Greninja. Should be able to live one hit. It's going to be very important for the Salamence to be able to hang in there, live that one hit, Dragon Dance up, and then just destroy, Miguel's team. So that's my team planning. I just want to let the Rampardos fans know that I'm very thankful for your support. I'm really excited going into GBA Season 5. We have a very, very tough matchup. Miguel was ranked in the top 1 or 2 of the league for the power rankings for his draft alone, not even his battling skill, and we know that he's a tremendous battler. So I'm going to go into this match going for the W. I've faced Miguel twice now, and I've lost both times, but last time, as far as I'm concerned, guys, we won. I made one tiny play at the end that cost me the match, but I really feel that I can beat Miguel. I don't look at him, I respect him, he's my friend. I looked at him as a tremendous battler, but I don't look at him as being someone I can't beat. I think we can hang with the best guys, and I think we are one of the best. So we're going to do our best to head smash our opponents to victory this week, kicking off the GBA Season 5. My name is Dan. I'm the coach of your St. Louis Rampardos, and I'm going to get the heck out of here. Peace.